In part 1, we got to Mars. 7 months in a tin can, radiation slowly cooking our DNA, bodies falling apart without gravity, and then a landing on a planet with no air, no warmth, and no mercy. We survived. We built the first shelter. We breathed our first recycled breath of Martian air. But here is the thing nobody told you. Getting there was actually the easy part.
There is water on Mars. Say that out loud for a second. There is water on another planet. Frozen, buried, hidden, but it is there. And without it, every single person in that colony is dead within days. No water means no drinking, no growing food, no making rocket fuel for any possible return, no producing hydrogen for power. Water is not a resource on Mars. Water is the difference between a colony and a graveyard. So, where is it? The polar caps hold enormous quantities of water ice, but the poles are the worst possible place to build a colony. Too cold, too dark, too far from anything useful. The real hope is what is buried just beneath the surface at the mid-latitudes. Water ice sitting a meter or two underground in the exact region where a colony would most likely be built. And in 2018, scientists confirmed something that changed everything. A liquid water lake, buried beneath the South Polar ice cap. Actual liquid water on Mars. The problem? It is buried under 1.5 miles of ice, with technology we do not have yet. And then there is the soil. Martian soil is poisoned. It contains perchlorates, toxic chemicals that would kill you if you ate anything grown directly in it. Every single greenhouse on Mars needs artificially created soil, sealed environments, controlled atmosphere, controlled temperature, controlled chemistry. One system fails, the food dies. The food dies, the people die. Mark Watney grew potatoes in a movie. He made it look almost reasonable. It is not reasonable. It is one of the hardest problems human beings have ever tried to solve, and we have not fully solved it yet. But we are working on it, every single day.
Forget the radiation. Forget the cold. Forget the toxic soil and the buried water and the power systems that cannot fail. The most dangerous thing on Mars is already inside the habitat. It came with the crew. It cannot be left behind, and no amount of engineering can fix it. The human mind. Here is what actually happens when you take a small group of people, lock them in a sealed box, cut them off from everyone they have ever loved, and tell them there is no way home for at least 2 years. We know, because we have done versions of this before.
Antarctic research stations are the closest thing on Earth to a Mars mission. Small crews, total isolation, months of darkness, no evacuation possible in winter. What the researchers documented is not pretty. Depression hits almost everyone. Not the kind you can sleep off, but the deep, grinding kind that makes you question why you are doing any of this. Anxiety spikes over things that would seem completely trivial back home. A disagreement over food, someone leaving a light on, a tone of voice. Tiny things that feel enormous when you are trapped. And then there are the documented cases of full psychological breaks. Crew members who stopped functioning, who became hostile, who had to be physically managed by the rest of the team. On Earth, you evacuate that person. You get them help. You fly them home. On Mars, there is no flight home. That person stays in the same sealed box with the same people they just turned on.
Makes Mars mission planners genuinely lose sleep. One person breaking is not one person's problem. In a habitat where every single person's survival depends on every other person performing their job, one person going dark can cascade into a mission-ending failure. The psychological screening for Mars missions will be the most rigorous in human history. Years of testing, simulations, extreme isolation trials. And it still might not be enough. Because nobody truly knows how they respond to the specific weight of looking out a small porthole window and seeing a small blue dot 140 million miles away, knowing that everything you have ever known is on that dot, and there is nothing you can do about it. Some people would find meaning in it, purpose, the pride of being part of something no human has ever done. Some people would shatter. And in a place where shattering is not an option, that is the monster nobody packed. Nobody knows how to stop it.
Now this is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. The first generation chose to go. They remember Earth.
They dream about it. They cry on video calls home. But their children? Born on Mars, grew up in 1/3 gravity. Bones formed differently. Heart developed differently. A child raised on Mars might literally die if they ever tried to stand on Earth. The gravity alone could kill them. They have never felt rain, never seen an ocean, never breathed air that did not come from a machine. Earth is not home to them. Mars is. And one day, the colony stops needing Earth completely. No more supply ships. No more instructions from mission control. No more permission from anyone. That is the day humanity splits into two. Not two countries, two species. And they are not asking how we feel about it. The water problem being worked on. The food problem being solved. The psychological problem? Nobody has cracked it yet. But the generation that grows up on Mars and becomes something we never planned for, that one was never a problem. That was always the destination. We are not just going to Mars to survive. We are going to become something new. Would you raise a child on Mars, knowing they could never come back to Earth? Drop your answer in the comments. Like if this changed something in you. Subscribe because the next video starts with one question and ends somewhere that will keep you up at night. See you there.